Hey, and welcome back to Temple Training. I am excited that you decided to join us today. All right, we are still forging through, continuing with our theme of balance and beyond. The question of the day is: have you ever heard yourself say, "What used to work for me just is not working anymore"? Stay tuned because I've got some great information on how to get over that hump. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Andrea Johnson, owner of Temple Training. In this space, I help women over 45 manage menopause by aligning their faith or rebuilding their faith, as well as learning to move and fuel their bodies so they actually enjoy this season of life. If you've ever heard yourself speak those words, and I've heard it so many times before, in fact, I've said it myself. And so I want to walk through a few tips today on why this happens and what you can do to push past this plateau. First, I want you to know that you are not alone. It does not require a grand overhaul to get to the goal that you've set for yourself. I know that small shifts will move the needle. I know that these small shifts on how we move, how we eat, and how we think can create big changes in this season of life. Like I said, I have to be honest. I've had to shift things in my own training. For years, I have thrived on a variety of high intensity training. I swore by it. I still believe that it is something that we should incorporate in our overall fitness program. But in this season of life, I have to say that my body is asking for something different, and I'm willing to explore. I tell my clients all the time to put on their investigator hat and explore other options just to see how the body responds. And so I've done something kind of radical. Not that I've never strength trained before, but I have leaned into progressive strength training as the very foundation of my programming, releasing the high intensity every single day attitude and leaning more into progressive strength training, gradually increasing my load, really focusing on slow and control, focusing on great form and prioritizing space for recovery. And I can tell you that it has made a world of difference. I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling more energized. I'm feeling like I am refreshed with clarity in my health and wellness, more balanced than before. And that is the beauty of menopause. I have to tell you, because so many times we come to this space, YouTube or Instagram or social media, and we hear all of the negatives around it. But here's something that is a positive: it's not about giving up in this season, but it's about adjusting wisely, like really listening to your body and figuring out what works best for you in this season. You are an individual, you are unique, and not everything may work for you, but figuring out exactly what does work for you is imperative. So, here we go. Here are three small shifts that make a big difference in menopause. And I approach this from that spirit, body, and nutrition perspective. So, I want to give you one shift in each area. The first one I'm going to go to, of course, is going to be that spiritual shift. This is really more of a mindset shift, and it stems from where I was. I'm thinking more grace over grind. I'm thinking, reduce the intensity and focus on the actual strength training in a progressive fashion at hand. Like, so more grace over grind. In menopause, weakness can be magnified, right? We are noticing what our body is unable to do or what we used to do and are struggling a little bit. I'm talking like walking through mud, feeling fatigued, brain fog, just changes in your overall body. But instead of grinding harder, I do believe that God calls us in this space to lean into his grace. One way that I've been practicing this is through walking through Ephesians. This is a book study that I've decided to open up to my community, and it was well received. I really understand that I am not the only one going through this. We have such a good group of ladies. It's about 10 to 15 of us. We're walking step by step through the book of Ephesians, making the time to dig deeper into God's word in community so that we can not only learn about who God is to us in this season of life, learning new attributes and characteristics of Him, but also doing it in community so that we understand that we are not alone, that we are working this thing out together. And it makes a big difference when you realize that you are not alone. So we're not rushing, we're not just skimming. This is not a quick read, but we are really pausing to listen and to understand. It has been a grounding rhythm for me and for my ladies in my community. And that's what resilience looks like spiritually, creating balance by anchoring yourself in God's truth and being supported and strengthened in His presence. So, a practical tip this week to implement something like this is just to take 10 minutes, right? If you're looking to join us, you can pick up right where we are, or you can just start to dig through it on your own. So, take 10 minutes to open up to the book of Ephesians. Read the first chapter, maybe verses 3 through 14 slowly. This is not a race. You're going to spend some time there and just jot down one or two truths about who God is and let that guide your day. Slowing down, connecting. My second shift that I want to share with you is progressive strength training. I've mentioned it a few times already, but let's talk about it. What does that mean? Instead of like endless cardio, and I've seen this time and time again where clients, they don't know what to do, right? So when you join a gym, or the first thing you think of is when you're trying to lose weight or get out of that plateau is cardio, cardio, cardio. Instead of endless cardio or punishing yourself through an intense workout to the point of exhaustion I had a client that used to call it where you needed a two nap day or a second or third cup of coffee so that you can make it through the day. Shift that thinking and now focus on progressive strength training. All it really means is we're going to add a little more weight each week, to specific movements. Maybe we're adding a few more rounds to those specific movements. We're choosing to practice rest, intentional rest between sessions, intentional rest even between movements to allow our body to adapt. We're choosing movements that not only build muscle, but movements that build joint stability as well as support muscle growth, something that we need in this season of life. And sometimes we just have to look at that from a different perspective. Strength training in menopause isn't about building massive muscle, which I know a lot of people are not a fan of anyway. It's really about building energy. It's about maintaining or building bone density, maintaining balance in this season of life, and resilience, having that bounce back. So, a practical step here would probably just be to pick one strength exercise that you already do, like squats, some kind of press overhead, chest press, or rows for the back, and try adding just a little more weight or an extra rep or an extra round each week. And if you're interested in learning more about that, you can always book your clarity and connection call. It's a free session, gives me a chance to talk to you about what your goals are and my tips, tricks on how to get there so we can get a little more detailed about it. But it's just a way of building that progressive strength over time, much needed in this season of life. The third shift that I have for you is going to be that nutrition shift, okay? Fueling for recovery. And I know that a lot of times we hear fueling for your day, fueling for your workout, fueling for your strength training session. Again, shifting the viewpoint here a little bit and fueling for your recovery. Your body cannot bounce back if it is running on fumes. So sometimes when we are in this season of life and the things that we've done in the past are not working, when it comes to nutrition, we think maybe we have to cut back more. We have to reduce the amount of food that we're consuming. I've heard people go in the season to eat drinking just shakes a couple of meals or eating one meal a day. These are things that they think they have to do to create the deficit. But during menopause, actually increasing that protein becomes essential for muscle support and recovery. Aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein at every meal and snack. Whatever you sit down to consume definitely should contain protein. Another thing is to get adequate amounts of water. So, hydrating even before coffee is going to be key. Having some water bottle nearby at all times is going to be key. And then adding colorful vegetables for fiber. When we think of food as fuel to support our training and not as restriction, we can shift the way that we think about nutrition. A practical step. This week, try starting your day with 20 to 30 grams of protein. You can find protein in things like eggs or Greek yogurt, or you can add a scoop of protein to a smoothie. Notice how your energy feels. Notice how your body responds to that added nutrient at the top of your day. Menopause doesn't mean your best health is behind you. It is an invitation to shift, to train smarter, to fuel your body well, and to lean into God's grace in this process. He already knows all about it. So here is your challenge this week. Choose one small shift, spiritual, physically, or nutritionally, and practice it. Put it into practice. Maybe it's journaling through Ephesians or a book of the Bible that you are more interested in. Maybe it's picking up some heavier weights during your workout, or maybe it's simply starting your day with a nice protein punch. If this video has encouraged you, subscribe for more faith and wellness content and tell me in the comments below, what is one shift that you're making in this season for balance? All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining us today as we talk about balance and beyond. Check the links below for free resources, access to our community for support, where we talk about these types of things, small shifts that make a big difference, and we walk this thing out together. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.